Hey guys, it's me, Lisa Stone of Parenting Aces. I am waiting for Caroline Eberhart of the ITA to join me to discuss the ITA summer circuit. She should be online shortly. She did just confirm our call, so I know she's coming. I went ahead and typed in the comments a couple of links. First of all, you'll see the link to get a player membership. I put it up on the screen here, but you can click on it in the comments. And also here is the link to see the schedule of ITA Summer Circuit events this year. And in that schedule, you'll see when registrations open. The first event's registration doesn't open until May 17th, so a week from today, but I wanted to go ahead and get Caroline on to answer any questions that y'all might have. And again, if you have questions or comments, you can just type them in the comments box at the bottom. And I see Caroline on. I'm going to just add her. Hey, Caroline.
Hi, Lisa. How are you?
Great. How are you?
Doing well. Thank you for having me.
Of course. I was just kind of giving everybody a little overview. We're live on Facebook, and I put up the link to get the player membership for this year and also the link to the schedule. And I was just talking about the fact that registrations open next Monday, the 17th, for the first event. So tell us what your role is at ITA, and then let's kind of jump right into Summer Circuit.
Yeah. So my name is Caroline Eberhart, and I am currently the manager for Division I women's tennis as well as Summer Circuit. So this time of the year is definitely crazy busy, but I love Summer Circuit. This is I believe my fourth year managing Summer Circuit. And it's kind of fun being on this side of things because I was a player myself and I competed in these Summer Circuit events. And I think they're just such a great opportunity, especially for incoming college players to get a chance to compete on college campuses.
Absolutely. And one of the things I always love about the ITA Summer Circuit is that it's a great way for high school players to gauge where they are in their development, because they're going to have the opportunity in these events to play against current and recently graduated college players, as well as other juniors. And really anybody can enter now, right? They're open events. But
Yes.
But I just feel like it's such a great way to gauge if you want to play college tennis, to see where you are, what work is still needed to get ready to go through recruiting.
Yes, exactly. So like you said, these events are open. And so the primary purpose is for incoming college players and of course college players. It's a way for them to compete in the summer months. But they are open events, so anyone can participate. Juniors, like you said, especially, it's a great way to gauge, for them to gauge kind of where they are. And like you said, adults can even participate as well, because some of these events are prize money events as well. So it's a great way for especially the junior players to kind of gauge where they are. Exactly.
So I love that you mentioned the prize money, and let's just kind of put the kibosh on any concerns people have about junior players accepting prize money and NCAA rules around that. Do you want to expand on that, or?
I will a little bit. I don't want to speak on behalf of the NCAA at all.
Yeah.
However,
because their rules change every other second.
They do. And I get a lot of questions about the NCAA, even just recruiting and all of it. And I tend, because they change so often, I'm not trying to be unhelpful. I don't want to answer on behalf of them because things do change. So I do know that there is a way for junior players to accept prize money if it is covering expenses, but that's kind of all I want to say. But junior players are able to, I believe, but I certainly don't want to speak for that at all.
So my understanding, unless things have changed during COVID, which is highly possible, and I want to say everything that Caroline and I are saying in regards to the NCAA, please, parents, coaches, if you're watching, confirm with the NCAA Eligibility Center. Don't take our words for it. We are not spokespeople for NCAA. The NCAA Eligibility Center is extremely helpful. They answer their phones. They have great people manning their phones and will answer any questions. But that said, my understanding and the way things were prior to COVID, and I don't think this has changed, but juniors can accept up to $10,000 in prize money. You just have to save receipts and you have to document everything. And you also have to make sure that you're going through the compliance officer at the particular schools that you're interested in playing for. So I'll just throw that out there.
Yeah.
Okay. So first step in playing ITA Summer Circuit is to get an ITA membership. Can you talk about that a little bit, Caroline?
Yes. So our player membership portal opened, I believe, on May 3rd. And if you were really early and ahead of the game on that and tried to do that Monday morning, there were a couple technical difficulties. However, it's all resolved now. I mean, what's 2021 without a couple of technical difficulties, right?
Yeah.
But it is live and it is up and running. And so this year, if anyone participated in the 2020 ITA tour, whether that was the summer circuit, fall circuit, or winter circuit, they will need to renew their membership this year. So they'll use their same ITA member ID. However, they will need to go to our website, which is wearecollegetennis.com, which you listed on the bottom there.
Yep.
They will need to go to the website and renew their membership, which is going to be $30. And like I said, they'll use their same ITA member ID when registering for tournaments on the UTR platform. So for those that didn't play in the 2020 tour, will need to purchase a membership, which they do, and they'll get a confirmation email with their ITA member ID, which they will need when registering for tournaments.
And that membership is good for a calendar year? How long is it good for?
It is good for a calendar year, so it will be good through the end of April of next year. Okay. And we are kind of still in talks within our organization in regards to a fall circuit. So we haven't made any final decisions on that. So it's still being discussed, but that could be a possibility for this year as well.
So for those of you not familiar with the ITA fall circuit, last year, because of COVID and all of the playing opportunities were just kind of wiped off the calendar. And so the ITA stepped up in partnership with UTR and created this fall circuit. So existing college players, juniors, anybody, they were open events just like the summer circuit is. Anybody could sign up and play these tournaments. And it was a great way to kind of put some events on the calendar and not have to really go through the NCAA and not have to go through USTA and all their protocols. And it was awesome. And so I guess the hope is, Caroline, that with COVID, the vaccines are out. Hopefully, you know, we're going to be back to some kind of normal, whatever that means. And, the typical fall tournaments will be back on the schedule. Yes. Fingers crossed. Yes. But if not, maybe the ITA will step in again and offer the fall circuit. Yes. And then the winter circuit happens once the fall semester is complete. Is that right? It's a way for everybody to kind of get ready for winter play.
That was, I believe, kind of December, January. Again, similar to what I said regards to the fall circuit. If there's a need for more playing opportunities, we'll certainly be open to discussing extending the circuits for sure.
Cool. All right. So first step, as Caroline just said, is to get your player membership for this year. And the link is in the comments. And then the next step is to take a look at the schedule of events, which that's the link that's on your screen now. And Caroline, what happens next? They look at this calendar and then what? How do they get signed up?
So the registration opening dates, I know you mentioned May 17th is going to be the opening date for week 1. It's kind of going to be a waterfall type effect for the registration opening dates. So it's going to be May 24th for week 2, May 31st for week 3, June 7th for week 4, and so on. So what they will do, they can go to our website, review the schedule, pick an event that's in their area. we will be linking the tournament homepages on the schedule, so they can click that link. It'll take them to the UTR site, to that specific tournament page, and they can click to register. They will need their ITA player ID number to register, and they should be set from there. And what I do want to mention, which is different from last year's summer circuit, is that the selection process is going to be a little bit different. So selections will be based off of UTR this year. It will not be for
solely.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So that stays in line with how registration was for the fall and winter circuit last year, but it is going to be different than typically what you'll see in a summer circuit.
Which, sorry, I cut you off, but in the years past, it's been first come, first serve,
Yes.
Hurry up and sign up, and so you can have a spot. Now that's not the case. It's going to be based on UTR.
Yes.
And I guess based on the sites too, they might have multiple draws, right?
Correct. Yes. So we typically will recommend to tournament directors to not have flights bigger than 32. 32 is kind of the biggest that we want, because we want these events to be, as highly competitive as possible, with level-based play. So if there's going to be multiple flights, so if you go to a tournament page and they're allowing 64 players in, most likely you'll see at least 2 or 3 flights within that draw, and that'll be also split up based on UTR. The flights will be as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so here's the thing with UTR events too, and maybe you can talk about this a little bit. A lot of times you go into the UTR tournament registration page and you take a look at the player list and you see who signed up, and you're like, I'm never going to get in this tournament because my UTR's so far below, or I don't want to play this tournament because my UTR is so much higher than the people signed up. Can you kind of talk about that a little bit? Because one of my biggest messages during COVID has been just play. It just doesn't matter. Just sign up and play the event, get the match experience, right?
Yes, exactly. I think that sometimes, kids put a little bit too much emphasis on who they're playing, what their UTR is. But in terms of, and again, I don't want to speak too much in regards to the UTR algorithm, but I don't believe it matters exactly how far a UTR is above or below you. I think the score line is also really important.
Right.
And so, like you said, truly getting the match play and getting the experience should be number one priority for these players, and not so much looking at UTRs, which it's hard not to do. I get it. But yeah.
But also, don't worry how it's going to impact your kid's UTR. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Because we've been in a dead period for recruiting since COVID began. The dead period's lifting June 1. So this summer is going to be the first opportunity for a lot of coaches to get out there and actually see kids play. Mm-hmm. So worrying about your UTR right now, if your kid is interested in playing college tennis, is just not the right approach for things. The purpose this summer is to get your kid out there, to have them in events where college coaches are going to be. And, not every kid is going to qualify for national hard courts. Not every kid is going to have the opportunity to go to those big L1 tournaments where traditionally the college coaches all gather. Also, there are college coaches outside the top D1 programs who are always looking for players, and the ITA summer circuit is a great place for them to come and look at players that might be the perfect fit for their program.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm a big proponent, as you can tell. I think this series of events, whether it's in the summer or the fall, but especially the summer circuit, I feel like is such a great opportunity for junior players to, again, kind of gauge where they are in their development, but also have that exposure to college coaches. And, on top of that, getting to play against current college players and be at an event with college players and kind of eavesdrop on the conversations they're having. College players are, they're very open, talking to each other about what they like, what they hate, what's working, what's not working, how their recruiting process went, how things are going, what they expected to happen versus what's really happening on campus. And it's such a great way for the junior players to kind of listen in on that and learn from them.
Yeah, absolutely. And we do have hosts in every division. So not just Division I schools are hosting. We have Division II, III, NAIA, and junior college as well that are hosting. So it's a great opportunity for players of really all level to experience what a college campus is like at every division.
Right. Can you talk about the cost of, again, I think you mentioned the cost of the player membership, but also the cost of the events and what that includes?
Yeah. So just to repeat, the ITA player membership is $30 for the year, the calendar year. And the tournament registration fee is going to be $65, and that's going to remain the same as it was in past years. And that includes singles and doubles. So doubles is on the table this year.
Yay!
Yes. And that will be up to the discretion of each tournament director, whether local guidelines allow, and if they have the court availability, they can offer doubles. So we're not limiting doubles this year.
And do the tournaments last 3 days? How does that work?
So they are going to be 2 to 3 day events. It will be, again, up to the tournament director whether or not they want to have a 2 or 3 day event.
Got it. Tony just asked, I understand being selected is based on UTR, but is there an age minimum?
There is not an age minimum. So it's open regardless of age level. It's open.
And saying that, I will say that when Summer Circuit first came around, it was just open to high school and college players, and that was it. Now it's wide open. However, if you have a 12-year-old that is not physically mature yet, I would say these are not the right events for that kid. I mean, really, ideally, it's for high school and up, or rising ninth graders and up. So younger juniors, it's probably not a great fit for them.
Yes, exactly. I couldn't have said it better.
Yeah. Okay. And so when they show up at the event, can you talk a little bit about what to expect? I mean, this isn't a typical junior tournament. So for a junior player coming out, can you talk a little bit about what the format is, scoring, all of that?
Yes. So the format and scoring will be the ITA Division I rules. So it will be 2 out of 3 sets, with the third set being a 10-point tiebreaker. The men will actually play the Division I no service let rule, which can be a little hard for the junior, the boys players. Let's see. Doubles is also going to be, I believe it's...
Is it 1 set to 6?
I believe it's just a set to 6. And then if the tournament director wants to extend that, like in the semis or the finals, they can do so, make it 2 out of 3 with a third set 10-point tiebreaker.
And are they playing no ad?
Yes, no ad.
Men and women.
Men and women, yes, correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
a big difference.
Yes. And I'll tell you a funny story about the no let rule. So my son played his very first ITA summer circuit, I think the summer, I don't remember if it was summer before his freshman year of high school or sophomore year. But anyway, his first time playing with, the no let rule, and he was serving. His serve hit the net. His opponent hit the service return, not necessarily a winner, but my son forgot that, the ball was in play. So it ended up being a winner because he forgot he was supposed to, hit the ball back. Yeah. So it's tricky for the receiver, but it's really tricky for the server too, to remember that even though it hits the net, it is in play. But that's on the men's side only, not the women's
side only.
Yeah.
For now.
Yeah. For now. I know. It's crazy. All right, what else do we need to know? What else do I need to ask you? Those of you watching, what questions do you have? Please type them in the comments. So while we have Caroline here.
Yes, I will also make a note that the ITA points race is returning this year.
Yeah, talk about that.
So we did take a year off last year, but that is back. So we'll release standings Wednesday of each week. And at the end of the circuit, we will tally the top 5 men and the top 5 women in the points race, and they will receive automatic bids into the National Summer Championships. And
where's that being held this year?
We are still finalizing, so I would like to share, but I just want to make sure that it's finalized before I do so. But I can tell you the dates, and those dates are going to be August 6th through the 10th.
Okay.
And that will be a 32 qualifying singles, 64 main draw singles, and then a 32 doubles draw.
I can't remember when National Hard Courts are this year. I'm wondering, because that's typically the date of National Hard Courts for USTA. I don't know if that's going to be a conflict, but I'll certainly take a look at that. And yeah. If anybody has that information that's watching, please type in the comments. I don't want to go away from our conversation and go do a Google search real quick. And y'all know how difficult it is to find stuff on the USDA website, so I'm not going to dig around right this second. And so how does the points race work? How do you accumulate points?
So I will be updating the website with an exact science behind the madness, but most likely it will be points from the finals as well as the semifinals. And then for the different flights as well, with the lower flights being a little bit less in the points. But the winners and the semifinalists will have a points total that they will accumulate.
Okay. And so you're not limited in how many weeks you can play, right? You can play an event each of the weeks. And are there 5 or I should go look at that real quick. Are there how many weeks this year? 6 weeks this year?
Consecutive weeks, yep. With a week off after week 6 and before the championships.
Got it. Okay. And so again, sorry, I'm clicking around on my computer. So Kalamazoo is August 7th through 15th. Thank you, Stephen. And that's going to be the same week as the women's or the girls' hard courts in San Diego. So I just want to put this link back up again. This is the link on your screen for all of a list of all of the events for this year's summer circuit. And you'll be able to click on the events and register when registration opens. Again, the first events registration opens next Monday, May 17th. And so bookmark this website, make sure you're going back to it and get your kids signed up. You can't sign up for all 6 weeks at the beginning. You have to do it week by week. And so, you know, again, make a note so that you don't miss those registrations. And do they typically close when, like the Wednesday before or something?
So they will close the preceding Sunday at 11:59 p.m. local time.
Okay.
Yes. So we wanted to make sure that players had enough time once selections were announced to be able to book travel and whatnot.
Got it. Mm-hmm. What a nice way to do things, giving people time to arrange and plan ahead. And
we try to think of everything. But
yeah, well, okay. So we've talked about the fact that the events are all going to have singles. They will have doubles if COVID allows for it, and if they have enough courts for it, and if the tournament director chooses to have doubles. Yes. And you'll be able to find that out when you sign up for the event. What typically happens is we've had a lot recently because there have been so few junior tournaments. Mm-hmm. We've had a lot of rain this spring, and you know, out of nowhere, tournament director will announce, oh yeah, we're playing short sets to 4, or we're just canceling the back draw, or blah, blah, blah. So how does that work if there are weather issues?
Yes. So we have asked all of our tournament directors to schedule a rain makeup day in their schedule. So typically that'll be probably a Monday, or maybe even a Tuesday. We, at all costs, the last decision for tournament directors should be shortening the score. Obviously, that can happen if that's the last option, but we want to wait till the end to do that. And same with canceling the back draw. So the rain makeup day should be all of the tournament directors should be scheduling that in as an option, and parents and players should be aware of that too, just in case.
Yeah. Yeah, you may have to stay an extra day. And is there a back draw at each event? Is that a requirement to host?
Yes, there will be a back draw. We are recommending to all of our tournament directors to try to guarantee 3 matches. 2 is guaranteed, but if at all possible, to get a 3rd match as well.
And I don't know if this has changed since my son was playing, but it used to be that you had to sign in for the back draw. You weren't, you could opt out of playing the back draw, in other words. Is that still the case?
That should not be the case anymore. They will automatically be placed for a back draw match. And if they don't want to play their back draw match, which I think that all players should be playing back draw, but that's just my opinion. Then they will need to let the tournament director know that they're not going to stay.
Okay. And I mean, it's not, you're not penalized for not playing the back draw, but again, college coaches are there, college players are there, they talk, and it is not a great reflection on your commitment when you continuously pull out of the back draw just because you're tired of playing and want to go home, or you don't like who you're going to be playing. So I would say if you're signing up for these events, sign up knowing that you're going to be there the 2 or 3 days specified, and possibly 1 extra day on the back end if there are weather delays. And if you can't commit to that, then don't sign up. It's not fair to the other players.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can say it. Okay, so Michael just jumped on. He said, will college players be separated from juniors? I'll let you answer that. I know the answer, but go ahead.
So college players will not be separated from the juniors. However, if there are multiple flights in a draw, the flights will be split up based on UTR. So we are encouraging level-based play as much as possible. And this is the way that we found works the best, especially being on the UTR platform.
Yeah, absolutely. And Michael, I will say, you say you doubt college players want to play 14-year-olds. They have to learn how to beat everybody. So, it's just one more challenge for them to face and try and figure out a way to overcome. So it's always good. Caroline, what have I forgotten to ask you?
I am looking at my notes here, and I think that we've covered everything. But again, my name's Caroline. There is actually 2 Carolines on our staff. So my name's Caroline Eberhart. My contact information is on the website. I do manage everything summer circuit. So if any parents, players have questions, they can certainly reach out to me. My contact information is on the website.
Do you want to give me your email and I'll just put it up on the screen?
Yes. It is ceberhart@itatennis.com.
Make sure I spelled that correctly. Is that right?
Looks good.
Okay, cool. So there's Caroline's email address if you have any questions. And again, scroll back up through the comments and you'll see the links to get your summer or your ITA player membership, and then the link to the schedule for this year. And that membership, that $30 membership, is good for the whole year. So summer circuit, fall circuit, winter circuit, if those other things happen. But for sure, the 6 weeks of the summer circuit. And I don't know what else to ask you, Caroline, because I feel like you did such a great job covering everything. And I mean, if you guys have questions, please reach out to her. Please take a look at the websites. I can't say enough great things about these events. I feel like for junior players, again, I said this at the beginning, but if your goal is to play college tennis, there is no better way to see if you are on track to be able to compete with the big boys and the big girls, and to have an opportunity to interact with existing college players, recently graduated college players. And I used to, when my son was still playing, I would write about these experiences every summer. But I remember, also one of the cool things about these summer circuit events was at the end of the day, the players are going out, they're grabbing dinner. The college kids are traveling, in groups with their buddies and whatever. So there aren't a lot of parents around. And so my son would kind of connect with some of the older players. They would go out to eat together. My son would have the opportunity to, again, eavesdrop on their conversations, but also to ask really pointed questions. What does your day look like in school? What kind of events does your coach take you to in the fall? How much gear do you get? What are the meals like? All these questions that maybe they don't feel so comfortable asking the college coaches when they go on their visits, but it's a lot easier to ask the other players. And for recruiting purposes, the players have a lot of input with their coaches about recruiting. So a coach will talk to existing team members and say, hey, what do you think about this kid? Will she be a good fit for our team? Does he fit in? Do y'all feel comfortable with this player? And so this is a great way for our juniors to start establishing some connections, forming those relationships. It's invaluable. And it's a great bargain. I mean, $65 is nothing to sneeze at. I get it. But when you look at the cost of USTA tournaments right now, it's a bargain. So
thank you, Lisa. I feel like you're our biggest promoter. I love it. Thank you.
I'm a big cheerleader for this because given what's been going on this year so far, we've had a lot of confusion, and there's still some parts of the country that aren't fully open to competition. And so now we've got, things starting to get back to normal a little more. And I'm just so thrilled that y'all are going to be putting these events on this summer again, and really want to encourage the Parenting Aces audience to check out the events, sign your kids up. July is typically a down month anyway for junior comp. And it's just a great opportunity to get in some extra match play. So
we have a record number of events this year, where I think we're around 85 events, which is typically a little bit more than we usually do. Just also a little fun fact: this is the first year that we have an event in Hawaii. Yes.
Fun.
So
vacation.
Hawaii Pacific will be hosting, which is in Honolulu, in week 5, so July 17th through the 19th.
And I'm thinking time to go have some beach time. I don't know.
Yeah.
Be a great thing to do. I was getting ready to say one more thing, and now it just slipped my mind. You were I know what it was. So the ITA Summer Circuit is powered by UTR, which means these events are run on the UTR platform. I know how caught up parents and players get in how's this going to impact my UTR. Can I please just put out one more plea to all of you to not think about that this summer? Just get your kid out playing, sign them up for tournaments, sign them up for match play, sign them up for open events, and sign them up, for goodness sake, for the ITA Summer Circuit. Don't think about their UTR. Don't think about how it's going to be impacted. Just get them out playing. The coaches are going to be out. They're going to be so happy to have opportunities to see these junior players in action. Doesn't matter if they're playing a kid that's 3 UTR points above them or below them. That's irrelevant. It's just getting on the court and playing this summer.
Yes.
So, all right. Well, Caroline, thank you so much for joining us and taking time to do this. I know you've been so busy and you've got a lot going on. The NCAAs are underway. The Sweet 16 is starting next week down in Orlando. And I know it's not your event, but it's a college tennis event. So that means the ITA has to pay attention, right?
Yes, we have been busy, but this is the best time of the year. What can I say?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks again. And for those of you that tuned in, thanks for joining us. If you have questions, please reach out to Caroline directly. It's ceberhart@itatennis.com. Her email address is in the comments, so just have a look. And if there's any news or updates that you need to share with us, Caroline, we'd love to have you back anytime.
Awesome. Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much. All right. Have a great rest of your day.
You too. Bye.
Thanks. Bye. For those of you watching, thank you so much. Again, if you have questions about the ITA Summer Circuit, please reach out directly to Caroline at ceberhart@itatennis.com. I'm flashing it up on the screen again. And take a look at the schedule. Make sure if you have a player that is a rising ninth grader or older, get them that summer membership or that ITA player membership, excuse me. It's not just for the summer, it's for a calendar year. And then have a look at the upcoming events and make sure you don't miss the deadlines. The entries open next Monday for week 1, and different from years past where it was first come, first in. This year, players are being selected based on UTR. So, I know that kind of is counterintuitive to what I just said about don't think about their UTR during these events. But I really want to, I've had so many conversations lately, and you guys know things have been still messed up with USTA rankings. I know a lot of you have turned to UTR events as kind of an alternative while USTA works out all the kinks. But I really want y'all to just focus on getting your kids out and playing. Keep them competitive, keep those competitive muscles, taut and ready to go. It's a great opportunity for them to work on the mental side of their game. And I want to encourage you to check out these events. They are really, really great opportunities for our juniors and for existing college players. So thanks for tuning in today. Again, if you have questions, you can type them in the comments. Reach out to me, Lisa at parentingaces.com. And I'll see y'all soon. We've got a new podcast coming out tomorrow, so make sure you take a look for that. All right. Take care, guys. Have a great week.